Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, myself, Kamlesh Kumar Gautam, Assistant Professor, Department of IT. I am going to deliver a small talk on big data. Today, slide move नहीं हो रही. Slide. Today, we will cover this topic: what is big data characteristics, concept of big data, and sources of big data, and what are the drivers of big data, architecture and their layers. Also discuss about big data life cycle phases and what challenges we are facing for big data, and what is the various application of big data. So discuss one by one. What is big data? First of all, big data is nothing but combination of two words, that is big and another is data. Big means just large in size, and data whatever fact and figures we are getting in real life or from anywhere. So combination of big and data is called big data. This word introduced by Roger Moglas in 2005, related in context of data. Context of data means digital document which flowing over internet, or delivered over internet services. This all the data is stored from long time. That data is called big data. Big data is nothing just a small data, but a huge amount of data is called big data. Just a bigger in size means large in size. The main objective of big data to solve the previous problem which are facing during running condition. So big data is very helpful to solve that problem. Then big data we can define in many ways. Big data is whole scale, diversity, and the complexity required new architecture techniques, algorithm, and analytics to manage its exact value and hidden knowledge from it. Basically, big data have various characteristics. We can handle by the various algorithm. We can handle, we can control, we can manage with the help of various techniques. So analytics is basically analysis to the data. So how can we manage that data? By the help of the software tools, by help of the extracting tools, by help of, and then we get the meaningful information. What is the hidden information in the big data? Then we can extract that meaningful information for the decision making, for policy making, etc. Big data generate value from the storage and processing a very large quantity digital information that cannot be analyzed with traditional computing. So big data we cannot manage in traditional way. So computation is very important. Computer techniques is very important to manage and to control big data. According to Gartner is one of the most famous computer scientists that define what is big data. Big data is basically have various characteristics. Big data is volume. It's also refer to the velocity and variety, information asset that demand cost-effective innovative form of information processing for enhanced insight and decision making. So big data, large in volume, flow in very high speed, and have various types, means variety, various type of data. Then and also it is very cost effective. It may be very precious for processing and then finding for decision making. Then decision making is main objective for big data. So big data is very important on today. Big data, what is the big data characteristics? Each data, any kind of data, is follow three main characteristics. We can define three V. B is three stand for number and V stand for characteristic, define the characteristics value. So V, first V stand for volume, second V stand for velocity, and third V stand for variety. Volume is size of data, just refer to the size of data. Velocity means speed of data, and variety means nature of data, means how data transfer, how delivered to data from one place to another place, from one device to another device. So this is referred to the speed of data, means we can send million trillion data over internet by the devices, computer devices like mobile phones, laptop, tablets, internet. And size of data, volume of size means data, big data is very large in size, means it, we can measure this type of data in petabyte form, gigabyte form, very huge amount of data. Like this data is stored under data center, data mining, data storage servers. And variety of nature, the variety of nature means which kind of data we can gather, we can store, means data, what is the characteristics, what is the property of that data. So there are the three variety, means different variety of data available on today. And in real, from we can get, we can extract, we can acquire from real world or from any enterprise or for any organization. So nature of data, which kind of data we have stored, means data may be structured, may be unstructured, or it may be semi-structured. So there are the three main variety of data. Structured data is well defined, well organized, and well managed. Unstructured data have various combination. It may be uh, text matter, it may be graphics, it may be table, it may be plot, it may be graph, it may be image, it may be picture. So these are the combination of heterogeneous elements of data, means heterogeneous form of data. They are the various combination of data. So they are the unstructured data. And semi-structured, like some data are structured and some data are not structured, means some data are partially structured. It's called semi-structured data. So they are the three type of nature of data: semi-structured data, unstructured data, and structured data. But right now we are adding to another feature. So we most popular is called 5B concept or 5B characteristics of big data. This data is also added to another features: veracity and value. Quality of data means data must be consistent, data must be certain, data must be trustworthy. And what is value of data means what is the importance of data for organization, for enterprise, for any kind of purpose. So what is the importance means what, how much meaningful data for our decision making. So these are the big data concept, big data characteristics. They are 5 big, stand for volume, first, second for velocity, third for variety, and next is veracity, and last one is value. Value means importance of data, means how much data is important for our organization, yeah, our business, yeah, our market. So we can define graphically like this way. Another, in future we can also add two features: variability and visibility, means how much data changes, how much data changes time to time. So variability means some data are changes time to time, means increasing number of customers, decreasing number of customers is the variability of some. If Flipkart is offering some offer on the some certain product, the number of customer are increased. So these types of data have variable in the form. Visibility means data should be clear, said data should be clear and trustworthy. Then we can get data from trustworthy sources, means meaningful data must be meaningful for the our organization. In future also we can add many features to the big data, like vagueness, validity, venue, means where we can data from data, viability, vulnerability, variability, viscosity, visibility, vitality, variability. So these all are the features in future we can add for the big data. We can graphically we can represent 7B concept. What is a big source? What is the sources? How we can get this big data? What are the main sources of big data? So these are the main source of big data where we can gather, where we can get, like Google also one of the most of the data is stored on Google server. Facebook is also very, now we call Meta. YouTube is video lectures and video, audio, video, movies, storage, Twitter is also social media size, Instagram, market survey, banking, insurance, stock market, generating millions, trillions megabyte data from these sources, IoT, IIoT, and cloud computing, and all kinds of web application generating regular basis and petabyte data form. So these are the big sources of our data, big data. Social media also most important big source for data, big data. Scientific instrument, most of the uh, uh, scientific centers are data centers, and research industries, education industry, also training centers are generating million trillion data in petabyte format or gigabyte format. Mobile devices, many applications stored in your device, also generating most of the data. Sensor technology and networks based on the all the most of the devices uh, getting automation. So all the kind of data, these are generating data in big data form. Even like we can just imagine how much emails users send every minute. Every minute, just 160 seconds, 204 million messages delivered over internet emails in just a 60 seconds. Mobile web received 270 new users in 1 minute. Google received every 2 minutes 2 million search queries. So this kind of data generated every minute in a daily basis. YouTube users upload 48 hours new video on your YouTube. Facebook user shares 7 lakh bits of content, message in form of message, in form of image, in form of photos, in form of picture, in form of video. Twitter users send more than 1 lakh tweets every minute. Consumers spend two, 2 lakh 272 2,72,000 web shopping. Apple receive around 47,000 application downloads. Brand receive more than 34 Facebook. So these are the estimated data we have delivered in 1 minute, yeah, 60 seconds every day. So you can imagine how much data generated in last uh, coming 10 years or before 10 years. Last 10 years we have increased 50 times big data. What are the drivers which running to big data? These are the main six factors which deliver to the big data. First is digitization of society. So that means we we all are the people of society, unit of society. So we are every day we are generating data from the on the internet. So society, digitization of society, right now around 30% public are using internet. Only 30% using internet. They are creating big data in petabyte, exabyte, byte. If 100% people are using internet, then how much data created every day, you can imagine. So digitization, mostly data collecting from the people, collecting from the real world, collecting from the nature. So digitization of society, digitization of public is one of the big source, a big driver of which running to big data. So big data is very trending subject or technology which are going in field of computer science. So plummeting technology cost, and also technology day by day improvement. So if big data is increases, then technology also increases, because we cannot manually manage, we cannot control to the and handle to the big data in manual way. So technology also implement. If technology it increases, then cost also increase. So connectivity through cloud computing, most of the server, most of the public connected to connected through the internet through cloud computing. Most of our data is stored on the cloud computing. Cloud computing is also big source of the big data. Increase knowledge about data science, and if big data is increased, then our knowledge obviously exponentially directly increases. Means data science just a science which is study, or we can say branch of the computer science. We study about data, we study about algorithm, we study about analysis, we study about mathematical statistics formula, statistical formula. So knowledge about data science, knowledge about data science means very important to running big data. if if we have not about we not knowledge about data, then we cannot manage, we cannot control. So data science is very important, and knowledge about data science is very important for big data to manage, to control, and to monitor. Next is social media applications. Social media also play a big role in the deliver or into drive to the big data, because most of the data created from social media like Facebook, like Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Instagram, these all are the social media site application creating million trillion beta byte data every minute, every second. So one of the big driver of the big data. And upcoming internet of things or industrial internet of things is also a big source, because most of the hardware devices are run by the internet, are getting automation. So internet of things is very big role that play for derive to big data. These are the architecture of the big data. So they are the main components. Here we can say these are the data source. First block is data source, next is data storage, and parallelly we can say they are the real time message. Next, batch processing, machine learning, screening, stream processing, analytical data storage. So these all are the main component of big data architecture. This block diagram show the big data architecture, how to data start or how to data generate and deliver up to last analytical and reporting phase. So first up, these are data sources. These data sources already we have discussed about data sources. These all are the social media application, Google, Twitter. So these are the data sources. We receive data from data sources, and we have stored on data center or storage devices. For data may be static mode or data may be real time mode, yeah, live mode. So they are the two kind of data stored on data center or data server. And real time data is running data which is real, uh, running on time. And then how to categorize? Then we have to make batches. Batch processing is categorization of the data. Means we have categorized to data, big data, in on the basis of certain parameters, on the basis of some uh, parameters which is maybe predefined or post defined. So, and using these techniques, machine learning techniques like clustering, like grouping, like classification techniques, and most regression techniques, logistic techniques. So we can follow to the uh, big data batch processing using machine learning tools and techniques. Stream processing is also one of the phase. So first phase is a data storage layer. This phase is called storage phase, data manage phase, and after that we have analyzed to data at analytical phase. So analysis is very important, analysis for decision making, and this last layer is called business intelligence layer, because after analysis we get information, we get analysis report for decision making, for policy making. Over all this system, all this configuration, all this component combination, this component is called orchestration. Basically these are the components. This is the software component. Basically this all the component is the component of the software tools, means data tools, data extraction tools. So these layers, they are the four layers: data received layer, data storage layer, analysis layer, big data analysis layer, and last one is the analytic and reporting layer, also called business intelligence layer. Big data source layer, management storage layer, analysis layer, and consumption layer. So these all data, big data source, we receive data at this layer and manage and store the data and at storage layer. And after storage, we have to analyze that data for consumption, for creating report, for creating analysis, for creating decision. So these four important layer is very useful for big data architecture. Big data analytics process tools. So we have many tools used for big data, for management tools, mining tools. Hadoop is one of the visualization tools, analytical tools, memory management tools, predictive tools, text mining tools. So these are the different category to have tools. All the tools have different category, different function we can use to analysis to big data. So they are the some tools we have discussed later. Big data life cycle. These all are the phases of big data life cycle. Life cycle means what are the chain going from start phase to the last phase. So first of all, we have business case evaluation data. First of all, we have sample of big data. Then identification to that sample. Then what is the purpose of big data? Means how we can extract this big data. So first of all, collect big business case evaluation from sampling to data, and then identification of that particular data, why we are using this data. Then acquisition means just acquire that particular data from their sources. Then extract means there is the some certain data, some uncertain data, some meaningful data, or some not meaningful. Then we have extract from that sample data which are acquired from data sources, then extract on the parameters, then check their validation, means how much data is valid for our decision making, how much important for our decision. Then if some data is important, then valid. If not important, then clean that data, means we have removed that data from our extract data. Then if there is we get different type data, different combination, then also aggregate, means we have to make a single data, then represent that particular data in single format. And after that, we have to analyze that data for decision making, for visualization, for improvement. So these all are the 9 phases. And last one, utilization of analysis. Then whatever we have result after visualization, then how we can use that data, that report, that analysis report for the business purpose, for the decision purpose, for the policy making. So utilization means consumption of the information, consumption of the report, consumption of the analysis. So utilization of the analysis. So utilization of analysis is one of the important and last phases, because final objective of our data analysis is the utilization of analysis, utilization of the report, because report is have helped to make decision policy, make improvement for business. After that, we are all are the facing big data challenges. Big data is increased day by day, every day, in petabyte size, in petabyte format. So we cannot easily manage, we cannot easily control, we cannot easily integrate that data. So we are facing each and every one to how to control big data, how to manage big data. All the companies are facing this kind of challenges. Data integration, because we are collecting data in unstructured format, means heterogeneous form, in various format. We cannot easily integrate, we cannot easily group, we cannot easily classify, we cannot easily cluster them. So data integration is one of the big challenge. So integration is a big challenge for handling or controlling big data. So because we can handle by help of the tools. So tools, we, if old tools we are using, then if we are using old tools, we cannot manage it easily to big data, because data size is increased day by day. So is certain limit of data we can use on particular tools. If data in high mode in large amount, then we cannot easily handle. So data integration is one of the important, one of the most challenge important challenge. So we can remove by the enhancing the technology, enhancing the algorithm, enhancing the computation methodology. Scalability, suddenly increment in the data, suddenly increment in the users. Like if Flipkart or Amazon offering on particular day 30% price cut on their particular product, suddenly number of consumers are increased, then that server means data server या handle जो जो भी data server है वो easily handle नहीं कर पाता है. Scalability means suddenly increase in data. So one of the also big challenge scalability. Security and policy of data. Security is one of the big challenge. We cannot protect each and every data for particular organization, for particular public particular domain. So security is because most of the hacker hacked your important data, confidential data. So security is a big issue. And privacy of we cannot sell to data, but most of the company selling behind me data to one company to another company. So security is a big issue. Data mining techniques. If big data is increased, data mining techniques also need to enhancement in the technology and techniques. So data mining techniques is also very big challenge. We cannot improvement in the technology, then we cannot manage to the big data. Data processing also very important and big challenge for big data, because if we have not data process time to time, then one time we have a very huge amount of data and we cannot process on time or within time. Data visualization is also very important and big challenge from uh, software industry, for software industry or any kind of industry who are working based on the data science or data, yeah, big data. Data transmission, because data is heterogeneous in nature. So data one form another form we can not easily transfer. So because computer is only understand binary system, so all data in form of graph, in form of picture, in form of video, in form of text, in form of table, in form of chart. So transmission is not easy from one system, one mode to another mode. So transmission is one of the big challenge. Data quality is also very important. If we have not quality data, then we cannot make good decision. So if quality of the data is very important. Not everyone is flow quality data. So quality data we can extract, we can filter, we can extract from your available data. Lack of standardization. Right now there is no any international agency that provide the standard uh, authentication to the big data, because available data on the internet or over the internet may be fake, may be fraud, may be wrong, and some data may be correct, may not be correct. So there is a lack of standardization. No any international agency or any government body have authority to provide standard to the your big data. Storage capacity. Storage of data is also very important, because if you have the limited data capacity, storage capacity, and receive a large amount of data, then you cannot easily handle, we cannot easily store to data. So big storage of data, big data is also very challenge. Now data cost is very important, because we all the most of the software companies, yeah, hardware companies, yeah, those working on based on the data are selling to data. So data our cost, our data is very cost, and we have to pay a large amount for paying to that particular data. Data generation is also important, and if certainly in case of limit, after that we have not generated data. So generation of data is also very important. Data handling also big challenge. We cannot easily manage in manual way, in traditional way. So we We need to software tools, we need to software techniques, we need algorithm, we need machine learning tools. Like, so data is handling is very big challenge. Last one is analysis. And analysis, after analysis we can make decision, we can make policy, we can make new policy, we can make business strategy, like that. Availability of data, if data is not available on time, then we cannot make decision on time. What is credibility? Credibility is very important and big challenge to what of big data. So these are the big application area where we are using our big data, like education sector, government, healthcare, weather pattern, banking, agriculture, fast food industry, airlines, e-commerce. So these are the major area where we are using our big data. Big data play very big role in education industry for result prediction, for placement enhancement, for admission enhancement, grading system, improvement in the grading system, improvement in the result. So big data is very play big role in the education industry. So because we have to make decision on the basis of previous data, means historical data is very important for education industry. We can modify our syllabus, we can modify our curriculum, we can modify in whatever needed for education industry. Then we have to make plan for future on the basis of previous data, on the basis of historical data, on the basis of available data. So data, big data is very important for education industry. Big data is also important for government, because government regularly every year making new plan. So government making new plans on the basis of, so basis on the uh, population, basis on the population census, basis on the available of the big data. So government also, government sector is also play role in on the basis of big data. Big data is also very important for healthcare, for prediction of diseases, controlling, manage to the medicines, controlling to the hospitals, controlling to and over the patient. So big data is important in each and every sector. Big data also important for weather pattern, means we can also on the basis of big data, on the basis of previous data, means we can predict data of weather, some raining, data of cloudy nature, like that. Banking sector is also use big data, and using big data for uh, uh, getting fraud customer, fraud consumers, using how many using uh, card, debit card, ATM card, loans. So big data play big role in the many sectors, all kinds of sectors we can define here. Big data also play big role in media, entertainment, transport and automobile sector. Agriculture is one of the big area where we are using big data. Airline industry and e-commerce. So each and every sector, big data play a big role for enhancement of their business, their industry, their whatever they are working in that particular domain. Thank you. Okay.